Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jake. I just want to welcome you to the St. Augustine Alligator Farm and our 3 o'clock feeding demonstration. Before I begin and get to the fun stuff, I just want to give you guys a few quick safety reminders. If you do have anything not directly attached to your body, including cell phones, cameras, keys, wallets, souvenir cups, anything like that, we just ask that you hold on to them nice and tight and don't balance them on these wooden posts. If anything is to fall into this exhibit, most likely our alligators are going to come over and investigate, which typically... Now this may not look like much, however, it's actually pretty cool. We can actually just toss these into the water. They're really useful for us because they actually float on the surface, so we're able to keep track of who is eating and who is not. As you guys can see, all of these alligators are actually pretty active when we throw these pellets in. There are over 200 American alligators as well as 2 American crocodiles in here, and all of these guys seem pretty avid in eating these pellets. However, if you guys do see some of these animals not coming over to eat, like I said, there are over 200 animals in here. Do not worry, that just probably means they are not hungry. We do these feeding demonstrations on a fairly regular basis, and these guys being reptiles may not always need to eat. Typically, they're only going to actually need to eat about once a week. So if you see some guys just hanging out on the sides of the banks or not eating very actively, that's why. This is a little bit different. This is what we call a whole food item. This has everything in it that those pellets do not. So the fur, the guts, the bones, basically everything that they would be eating out in the wild. So we can see if we can get one of these animals who's a little bit interested in eating one of these. So they're just going to basically eat that rat, all the food and everything that comes with it on the inside. Now I'm going to throw some pellets in and tell you guys a little bit about the history of our park. When they're younger, they'll eat smaller items such as small mammals, crustaceans, fish, and even something as small as snails, which they'll actually continue to eat through most of their life. Now being reptiles, they actually have a slower metabolic rate, so they're not going to need to eat all the time. They're going to spend most of their day doing what we call thermoregulating, since they are cold-blooded, trying to keep themselves cool or warm themselves up depending on the weather.
Of the alligators in here goes, the honest answer is we're actually not so sure ourselves. And you might think, well, that's kind of silly. The really big alligators have to be the older ones, right? But no, that's not necessarily the case. There's actually a couple of determining factors that go into the size of an alligator, including their diet, genetics, and also gender. So let's go back. Actually, I like using Hunter for this one. Hunter! Hi, Hunter. Come on, buddy. There you go, Hunter. Come on. Oh, you can do better than that. Come on, Hunter. Let's really see that beautiful smile. There it is. All right, so Hunter here, he's our second longest one. He's a huge alligator. You might say, well, he's got to be the oldest one. Nope, he has good genetics. He came from very large parents himself, and big parents equal big babies like Hunter. But also, we do have a mix of males and females in here, and the females are going to be the smaller ones. So any of the 6, 7, maybe 8 footers that you see here, one right here, we have another one on the island, those are going to be the girls. And then any of the 11, oh, did it fall right out? Okay, good. He found it. But let's see here, I might be able to give you an example of an alligator doing a high walk. We'll use Palmer again. Palmer, come here. There we go, he's going to really push his body up off the ground. Oh, come on, one more. Oh, there we go. Perfect, buddy. So, as you can see, I wouldn't want to start zigzagging back and forth. That kind of gives Palmer more opportunity to track me down. You just kind of go in the opposite direction, and that tail is just a little too much for him to really. So once the sun sets here in Florida, all of our sleepy alligators, they're going to start waking up. They're going to get back in the water with their friends there, back in the lagoon. They usually start chasing each other around. They do circles like the Daytona 500. And usually we come here in the mornings, and for some reason, we really don't have too many raccoons and possums running around. They don't really stand much of a chance. Like I said, there's at least 600 individuals here waiting for animals to get a little bit too close to the water's edge, so then they can eat them up, just like that. So maybe even like actually out in the swamp there where the rookery is, we usually hear like a whole bunch of kids screaming all at once, and we'll go out there and there'll be an alligator swimming around the heron or an egret that it caught. And those are when they submerge themselves underwater, so they come up for a breath of air. They don't have to be knocking a whole bunch of water in the face. They can't even see. Not too helpful if you have to chase down a small prey item right in front of you. Fortunately, that's no problem for an alligator. They're ambush predators. They sit, look here, he's got these little black dots right where his lips are. Those are called ISOs. Those are receptors that pick up the slightest vibration. All right, that's going to sum it up for me right now. Thank you all very much for coming out. Hopefully you'll just learn a little something about alligators, be a little more fascinated and intrigued by these awesome animals I love so much. And if you don't actually have any questions after the show, I'm going to hang around here probably by the fence line, and I'll be more than happy to answer or just talk to you all about alligators and stuff, all right? Again, my name is Noah. Thank you all very much for coming out, and y'all have a wonderful day here at the Alligator Farm. Thank you.